So I'm going to show you some of the forearm training that I do to build up the grip strength, wrist strength, and basically just to work these parts of the body that get a little bit neglected with regular weight training or calisthenics or any sort of movement that you're doing. Super easy because all we're using, this can be done a lot of different ways. You can use weights. What I prefer to use at the moment anyways, I've just got a section of a broomstick attached to a resistance band. My resistance band is anchored through an eyelet I've screwed into the wall. But, you know, throw this strap around, say the bottom of a bed frame, door handle, anything where you can just keep it anchored to start building resistance on the strap. We have 3 different groups of exercises. Each one will contain 2 different movements that we can do back to back. So first is going to be wrist rolls. And with the wrist rolls, hug the elbows in, keep them nice and tight to the body. So we're just working to try and isolate the movement as much as possible, just being the forearms and the wrist here moving. And taking the wrist into flexion. So I'm curling, flexing in the wrist as much as I can, all the way around. We'll roll the band all the way around, whatever you're using, the stick, or maybe it could be an empty barbell or empty dumbbell, anything at all. And roll that in until there's lots of tension on the band. Squeeze it in, keep it going. So once we get that to the point where it almost wants to flick out of the hands, we're going to hold. And then we're just going to do little pulses through flexion in the wrist. So I'm going to keep that going for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm going to hold the last one for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No break. We start to unroll. And unroll. That same motion of the unroll then becomes your wrist extensions as we start to roll the band around the broom handle the other way. Keep it going all the way. Doing them back to back is quite strong. You also get the burn through the forearms here. And keep going. Same amount of tension through the band as it wraps around. Once we get that nice and tight, hugging elbows in, squeeze. Same thing, with 20 pulses into extension. Hug the elbows, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold the last one, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's not over yet. Slow unwinding. Now I'm going to go straight from wrist rolls into supination and pronation. So supination, pronation, palm turned up, palm turned down. So supinated turned up, pronated turned down. So I'm going to call the first one a pronated exercise because we're going to have the most tension on the band once the wrist is rotated into that pronated position. So again, this can be done with a weight, so you can either use just the broomstick by itself. Usually the head of the broom is going to provide enough weight or resistance for you to get some sort of work through the forearm. But you'll see what happens when I use a band. We're getting all that tension there through the band as I move to a pronated position, but the band wants the stick to move front and back. So actually getting a little bit more work here, just to work slow with a controlled motion. And we go over again, back. So you could do maybe 10 of these. I'm going to stop at 5. And then I'm going to switch the hand. So we can do the supinated version. So same thing, the elbow's hugged in. We're starting in a pronated position, rotating tension through the band into your supinated position. Nice and slow, back over. And I'm going to do another 4, 3, 2, and 1. and then straight into ulnar and radial deviation. So ulnar and radial is basically the motion of the wrist moving forwards and back. So radial is when we're bringing the thumb in towards the forearm. Ulnar is when we're taking the pinky in towards the forearm. First, we'll start with the radial. Elbow is fully extended. You're going to put the hand here to hold it by the side of your body. A nice grip on the broom handle. And then we're just bringing the thumb up towards the forearm as far as you can and back. Up and back. Again, I'll just do another 3, 2, 1. And then when we do our ulnar, then we just reverse the grip. So now the thumb is basically on the end. Same thing, arms fully extended, and then we pull back. Another 3, 2, 1. So if you're working through these, my breakdown's usually 20 seconds after a roll, wrist roll, 20 seconds of flexions or extensions, and then a 10-second hold. I'll do 10 to 15 radial, the supinated, pronated rotations, and the same thing, 15 to 20 ulnar and radial deviations. Do that 3 to 4 times, 2 or 3 times a week. Start to know the difference. It will definitely build the grip strength. You'll notice that with your other weight training. But then another thing I've just been talking a lot about when we're working for inversions, and basically training the exercise over and over can be quite tough on these parts of the body. So when we use tools like this, we can just take that weight bearing off the body. So including or incorporating these exercises or little maintenance drills into your weekly routine is a great way to build strength through the body that can be transferred to certain skills. So if you're working on arm balance or inversion, say like handstands, so training handstands over and over again every single day can be quite risky, particularly if you haven't got that strength through the body, because you're going to find the failure point at the weakest link being probably fingers or the wrist, just from having all the weight of the body. So get the weight off, do some of this strength work, and then find how that then transfers over into the skills that you've been working on. So if it's a handstand, what happens in handstand, fingers are spread nice and wide. So we want strong fingers, strong grip into the floor. The forearms are doing that little work to counterbalance forwards and backwards onto the wrists. So we're pressing up, feeling that weight come into the fingers, using them to shift into the palm of the hand, forward and backwards. And it's just a nice way to, like I mentioned, to keep progressing towards a goal or an intention you might have set yourself without putting the body into a compromised training routine that could cause injury or completely halt your progress. So just train smart, be kind to the body and try these different alternatives to maybe get you to the same point that you're training towards.